So, as you can see from the title of this video, I'm pregnant, which still feels so strange to say. I'm currently 14 weeks pregnant. Baby is due in September, early September 2020, and we're so happy, so excited, a little bit terrified, but yeah, it's crazy. I thought I'd do a little video series of my experiences as a pregnant aerialist through the trimesters. So obviously I'm 14 weeks, so I'm just in the second trimester now, so this will be about my experience in the first trimester, and I just can't believe I'm already in the second trimester. That's terrifying. It's going so quickly already. I'll show you this scan actually. I know other people's scans are a bit boring, but this is so cute. So this is the scan. So you can obviously see head, belly, bum, a little leg, a little arm. It's our little baby. So we actually had two scans. We had a scan when when I was 11 weeks pregnant, but the baby was a little bit too small to be able to do all the measurements and the tests they needed to do. Not like it wasn't a problem at all. It was just a little bit. They do this scan between 11 and 14 weeks. So I think I was just on the cusp of 11 weeks, and I suppose because I'm small and Chris isn't like really tall or anything, the baby was just a little bit too small. So then we had to go back at 12 and a half weeks, so about a week and a half ago, which is when we got this one. And the baby had grown the right amount that they assumed it was going to, and they could do all the tests and everything. It's now the size of a pear, according to my app, which is amazing. It was amazing seeing the baby like moving around. It was doing backflips, so it was going absolutely crazy in there. And I kind of said to the midwife, it's crazy that it's moving around so much, and like a pear is not, you know, it's not small, and I can't feel anything. But she said that you don't really feel anything till about 16 weeks. So she said he's in his little, he is in his little like cocoon of fluid, so he's just bouncing around in there, not actually touching me. But yeah, the scan was absolutely incredible. We chose not to tell anyone until this scan. I know the chance of miscarriage is relatively high in the first trimester, and I just kind of thought if that happened, I don't want loads of people knowing. I would probably tell close family, maybe close friends at some point eventually, but I thought if we've already told people that I'm pregnant and then something happens, we'd then have to tell people like within a few days or a week that something's gone wrong, and I just didn't want to have those conversations. So we chose to keep it quiet until the scan. We actually told all our parents a few days before the scan, just because they were all round, it just happened that way. We don't see our families all that often. I think we only saw them maybe twice between finding out I was pregnant and like this scan when we were planning to tell them. So it was hard to keep a secret, but because we don't see them that much, it wasn't too bad. I think if we saw them much more, it would have been a lot more difficult. We probably would have told them a bit sooner. So yeah, we had the first scan, told our parents had the first scan, and then waited to the second scan before we told everyone, just to make sure. So just as a little backstory, myself and Chris wanted to have a baby in the next couple of years. I'd kind of done a lot of research, and as I do, and the chances of getting pregnant each month are actually quite low, and I have I have endometriosis, so my chance of getting pregnant is can be quite a lot lower. Well, not lower, just that it could be harder for us to get pregnant. So we decided to kind of not start trying, but just stop being careful about 9 months before we actually wanted to get pregnant, thinking that if it didn't happen straight away, then we were under no pressure, it didn't matter, it just completely took the pressure off. That's what we were thinking. Our bodies had different ideas, pregnant literally first time. So it's, in a way it's a shock, because I had it in my head that we wouldn't get pregnant for at least 6 months or so, because I think that's fairly normal. But obviously we weren't being careful, so we knew it was on the cards. So yeah, I found out I got pregnant I took the test on the 6th of January, which was a Monday. I actually knew a couple of days before. It's weird, I've obviously never been pregnant before, but I just knew there was something in me, I just knew. So yeah, I waited until the Monday, just like I'd properly missed my period, just to be sure. Took 3 tests, different brands, again, just to be sure. And yeah, little baby there. I thought I'd talk a little bit about how I've been feeling over the last couple of months, physically, mentally, anything that I've been doing differently, food, supplements I've been taking, all that jazz. So I'll show you my little bump. So from here, if I kind of have a bit of a pose on, suck in, you can't really see anything. I can tell I look different, but to the outside world, I think you just look like, obviously, this is the big major change. I've never really had boobs before, but yeah, I now have boobs. I now have to wear a bra all the time, which I'm not enjoying. So yeah, I'll start with this. My boobs obviously have got a lot bigger and are, oh my god, so sore. So the belly, this is kind of, I'll put my trousers down. So this is completely sucking in. See, I've got a little bit of a bump. Usually when I completely suck in, it's completely flat, but I've got a little bump. This is kind of normal. So even normal, I've got a bit of a bump now, and that's just completely relaxed. So that's kind of how I look normally. From the front, if I'm posing a little bit and breathing in, still kind of got my abs, kind of. But yeah, you can't really see too much. I kind of wish I'd filmed this a week or so ago, because I feel like this last week, it's Monday today, so from about Monday last week was the first week that I felt like I looked visibly different in clothes. Before that, I could tell differences. I felt like I just put on a couple of pounds, which I have. But I felt like for the outside world, you couldn't really tell, whereas the last week, you can, like, I feel like I properly got, as Chris put it, you're not showing, you just look a bit thick around the middle, which is lovely. But that's how I feel. So yeah, I do kind of wish I'd filmed this a week or so ago, so you could get a true, like, visual what I look like at the end of the first trimester, but I've still got not really much showing. I wouldn't say I'm showing yet at all. I just have a teeny weeny little bump. It does pop out a lot more in the evening. In the evening I have a bit more of a proper bump, which to be honest I really, really love. I think my body's just like, oh, thank God I can't hold it in anymore. So I'm really looking forward to having a proper, like, neat little bump. At the moment I feel like I don't look pregnant, I just look like I've had a few bowls of pasta. Which isn't a bad thing, it's just, it makes me sound really vain when I say this, it's not how I like to look. I just feel a little bit uncomfortable. We went out for dinner a couple of nights ago and I tried on so many outfits because everything just looked, like I said, I just looked like I put on a few pounds, which I just felt a bit uncomfortable. So I am really, really looking forward to having a proper little bump. Other than that, the only physical changes, like visible, I'm not sure if it's really visible, my hair is growing like crazy, like everywhere. I'm having to shave like every single day. My skin has got a lot drier, which I wasn't expecting. Like my makeup just doesn't sit right anymore. So that's the only real things. I have had a cough and a sniffly nose for the last couple of months. So yeah, I just feel a little bit run down, but not under the weather. I don't feel like I've got a cold, I just got a bit of a cough. I have felt quite nauseous. I've only actually been sick 3 or 4 times, so I'm pretty pleased about that. It could be a lot worse. And some days are better than others. Some days I'll just feel a little bit nauseous in the morning and in the evening. Other days it's pretty much all day. So to be honest, I have been struggling with that because it doesn't stop me doing anything, but it makes me feel like I don't want to. Like, I don't want to go to the gym or go training, like spin around hanging upside down when I feel like I'm going to be sick, even though I know I'm not going to be sick. So that's, like I said, I'm so happy and I feel so lucky that that's all I'm getting. I know it could be so much worse, so I'm not complaining at all. In terms of exercise, I haven't really changed anything, to be honest, apart from I'm being careful. So I was training, to be honest, I was teaching last year about 5 days a week, maybe about 10 hours a week. But I recently took on my studio last year, and it has new heating, so I was planning to take off the winter because it's freaking freezing in there, and then I was planning to go back to teaching in March, April sort of time when the weather kind of warmed up. And to be honest, I was always planning that if I ever got pregnant, that I would teach through pregnancy until about like 6-7 months, until I felt like I couldn't deliver good lessons anymore. But now obviously I'm just over 3 months pregnant, so I haven't been teaching because of winter, otherwise I would have been, and I'm not going to go back teaching because there's no point for the sake of a couple of months. I have still been going to the studio to do filming for my academy and to do a little bit of training. It's been going quite well. I've just been making sure I don't do anything that's wrapped on my belly or anything that is kind of wrapped across my hips, but if it went a bit wrong or slipped, it slipped to my belly, or anything that is squishing against my belly. For the first trimester, because the baby is sat like in your pelvis quite low, it's quite safe, but I didn't feel comfortable having anything squeezing on my tummy. I'm not doing drops, and I'm just doing things I'm like 100% comfortable with. I'm not doing new moves or anything that, I mean, obviously you could fall out of anything, but I've kind of been doing aerial for long enough that I know that some moves I'm, 99.9% sure I'm going to be okay with, and then other moves they're a little bit dodgy, or I just don't feel 100% in them, then I'm just not doing them. So I'm going training a couple of times a week, and it is getting a little bit harder. I do feel heavier, but I don't know if that's just because I used to do it like 5 times a week, now I'm into it a couple of times a week, or if it's because I genuinely have got heavier. So I put on about 1.5 kilograms, which is quite normal first trimester. So yeah, I'm still doing that, and I'm planning to continue training, doing aerial stuff for as long as I can, really. Again, I'll just make modifications once the bump starts getting a bit bigger. I'll make sure I don't do anything that could hit the belly. I'm running about twice a week, so I was doing this previous pregnancy. I'm still running about twice a week, only like 4 or 5k, so I wouldn't call myself a runner. I'm not running far or fast. The only difference with my running is that previously to pregnancy, if I felt, like really out of breath, I would just in my head be thinking, you're not dying, keep going, and I would push through. Whereas now, when I feel really out of breath, I just stop and walk for a bit, just to make sure my heart rate doesn't go up too high, and I don't want to put extra stress on my body. I'm still going out for a run. It's just taken me a little bit longer. Same with gym workouts. I was working out about 2 or 3 times a week doing weighted leg sessions. I'm still doing that. It's probably about twice a week now. I've dropped my weights down so I can do 10 reps. I'm doing squats. Previously I would maybe do a weight that I could do a maximum of 5 or something like that, whereas now I'm doing a weight that I can do 10, 12 fairly easily. So I'm not trying to build muscle or up my weight or anything like that. I'm just trying to maintain the strength that I have if I can. And again, if I'm feeling tired or out of breath or just not right, I'll just stop and have a break. I'm not like pushing my body at all, really. In terms of food, food has been the thing that I've been struggling the most with. I haven't had any like cravings as such. I just find the only thing that doesn't make me feel sick is bland food. Toast, chips, vegan chicken nuggets, like very plain crumpets, ginger biscuits. I have a pack of ginger biscuits by the bed, a pack in the studio and a pack in the living room, so I'm going through them. They don't make me feel sick. But everything else, just the thought of it, just makes me feel very, very nauseous. The 3 times I have been sick have when I have tried to forced down some smoothies. So I used to love having smoothies and getting loads of nutrients, and when I first found out I was pregnant, I was like, right, I'm gonna have a smoothie every morning. I'm gonna put in spinach and kale and nuts and seeds and like all the really good stuff. And I did that for the first maybe 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I found out I was pregnant when I was, God, I can't even think, 3 weeks pregnant, I think, 3 weeks. So yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks after that, I was drinking smoothies every morning and I felt really, really good. And then just the thought of fruit and vegetables, just, oh, and yeah, when I drank smoothies, the whole thing literally came straight back up. So I stopped doing that. I haven't braved a smoothie yet. So that has been quite hard for me because I love fruit, I love vegetables, I like the taste of them and everything, but I love the way they make me feel. I have unhealthy food and I have treats and all the rest of it, but essentially I eat quite a clean, healthy diet and I really like that. So and I have the last few weeks, the last couple of months, I have made sure that I have fruit and vegetables every day, no matter how much I really don't feel like it. I'm making sure that I'm getting some kind of goodness in me because I feel like I don't want to give into it and just eat toast all day. I've been taking a few supplements, I've got them here. I haven't been taking too many supplements just because I'm trying to get as much as I can from food. Supplements I am taking is folic acid. I don't know if you can really see that. 400 milligrams folic acid. I started taking this as soon as we started trying for a baby, so as soon as I got pregnant, which is recommended. This also has vitamin D in it, which is also really good. I'm also taking vitamin B12. It's not going to focus. Vitamin B12, because I eat mostly plant-based diet. This is recommended whether you're pregnant or it's actually recommended even if you do eat meat. I was taking this previously to being pregnant when I remembered. I tried to take it every day, but it was only like 2 or 3 times a week. Now I take this every single day. And the last supplement is omega-3. So this is a plant-based omega-3. It doesn't have any fish oil or anything like that in it. If you don't know, we tend to get omega-3 from fish because fish eat the algae and the seaweeds, so that's how they get it. So by taking this, I'm just cutting out the fish and going straight to it. This is safe for pregnancy, and omega-3 is obviously really important for babies' eyes and brain and just general development. Again, I was taking this prior to pregnancy, but only when I remembered. Now I take it every morning. So they are the only supplements I've been taking, and that, like I said, I'm just trying to get everything from food. The only thing I have stopped doing since finding out I was pregnant, or over the last, actually I did it when I found out I was pregnant, over the last maybe month or so, is I used to volunteer at an animal sanctuary once or twice a week, just like looking after the animals, cleaning out cages, anything they needed doing. I've stopped doing that only because the motion of like bending down, standing up, constantly like reaching cages, that kind of thing, just the thought of doing that motion over and over really made me feel very, very sick. So I just didn't want to be in a scenario where I was going to make myself feel more sick while I was already feeling nauseous, or having to like stand up, like bend over, things like that, feeling nauseous. So I stopped doing that, which makes me really sad because I love it, like absolutely love going there. It's one of my favourite places, and it makes you feel good to, you know, give back. It's a charity. Hopefully I'll be able to go back there once a week again. I have been fairly tired, not too bad. I know I see a lot of people that say they have naps and things like that in the first trimester. I haven't been that tired. I haven't changed my day-to-day routine at all. I'm still working exactly the same as normal. I have found it quite difficult to get up in the mornings, which is really not like me. Usually I'm like straight out of bed kind of girl. I love getting up early in the mornings and getting loads of stuff, and then I'll crash in the evening, whereas the last couple of months I found it really hard to get up in the morning. So I think that's my body telling me that it's tired, and you know, it's growing a human and it needs a bit more rest, and then I'm quite tired in the evenings, but during the day I'm absolutely fine. I obviously haven't said anything on social media, so we've known for a couple of months now, and it's been the reason that I haven't posted anything. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I usually post stories like throughout the day, an Instagram post once a day, once every other day, and I haven't really been doing that. I've just felt a bit weird like it's been, obviously baby's been on my mind like pretty much all the time, and while I have been feeling so sick and a little bit under the weather, I found it hard to go on social media and talk normally when there's like such a huge thing, a huge part of my life that I'm not able to talk about. So I kind of taken a bit of a step back, which I think was actually quite good for me. I could focus on other things and just kind of getting my head around everything. But now that you all know, I can be back and I can talk to you normally, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope you enjoyed this little update video. It wasn't one of my normal ones. As I said, we are so happy, and I can't believe the first trimester is over already, and I'm just really looking forward to the next few months. Looking forward to meeting him or her, terrified of having to actually get him out of me. But I'm just looking forward to, I'm just enjoying the whole thing. I feel, now that I'm in second trimester, I feel absolutely just full of beans and back to myself, so hopefully that will continue. And yeah, I'm so pleased you all know now.